my next task is to introduce Philip Darbanville. So, Philip, you want to take on your presentation?
Sure, Keith. Thank you, and welcome everybody. Good to see so many familiar and new faces among us for the new year. I'm here with my partner and Living Wellness co-founding director, Michelle, and we're excited. Kumaras Center has always been a vision that has intrigued and supported this important occasion that's spoken of in Theosophy, but it's not often given the spotlight that maybe it deserves for our own realization. So I'm glad, Luca, you've held the light for this over the years. Thank you. With our vision right now, I've been asked to share about the Earth and the Earth's relationship in evolution and the cosmos. And Theosophy has a huge amount to say about this, from, as Keith had mentioned, cosmic genesis and the development of the evolution of streams of consciousness from time immemorial, and then to the present current cycle that we have in this fourth round. And it's too big a subject really to encompass in 10 minutes. So what we can focus on are a few key points, and the stellar key points that we always have to put into focus any subject, of course, are the three fundamentals. And the first concept that we anoint ourselves with is this understanding of we come out of no thing, that it's beyond the range and reach of the finite mind to grasp our beginning, our true beginning. So philosophical perspectives for the mind are absolute abstract space and bare subjectivity. And then we get into concepts of emanation and radiation and these abstract realms, coming down to material, greater and greater, denser formations and relationships. And yet at the center of this evolutionary manifestation is consciousness itself. And we, in our stage, think of consciousness as self-reflective thought and identify with this reality that we've created. What Theosophy points to is an understanding that our relationship with the earth and the cosmos and ourselves is one consciousness that we can interpenetrate and understand and grow into a deeper and deeper relationship with, and then understand our karma and cycles of periodicity that we're creating all the time and experiencing the effects of all the time, the in-breathing and out-breathing. There are some wonderful references that I'd like to point to just as clarity for this evolutionary stream, as Keith had mentioned, the Hermetic saying, as above, so below. We are a microcosm of the macrocosm. So in chapter 2 of The Ocean of Theosophy, William Quan Judge lays out very distinctly the divisions of the sevenfold universe. Now, we often talk of the sevenfold nature of man. Now, we have a trinity of soul, spirit, manas, mind, which is dual. When we come into incarnation, we experience it as the lower mind, thought patterns, self-reflective thought, and then higher mind or intuition, some prophetic dreams. We get glimpses of higher mind. So then we have the physical body and the electromagnetic pattern body, and we have the life force, and we have this passion, desire nature. So it's interestingly divided into 7 levels. The same divisions given to the universe by Judge here, chapter 2, page 14. He says, the sevenfold universe may be laid down roughly as the absolute, spirit, mind, matter, will, akasha or ether, and life. He says in place of the absolute, we can use the word space. So that's quite a journey that we have to relate with and understand that this is who we are, that we are part and parcel of this creation, and we are a reflective aspect of all of these divisions, if you will, and yet as mind beings in the earth, we occupy a special evolutionary space as the thinkers, and the mind aspect of the earth itself, you could see, as the collective consciousness of humanity in all its realms at any given point in the cycle. So how we act collectively is a lot to do with how the earth, or us on our larger aspect, feels and responds and reacts. There's the wonderful aphorisms on karma that is given to us as well by Judge. And I wanted to refer to a couple of those while we still have a few moments. They're very valuable, along with Patanjali's yoga aphorisms, to understand our relationship to ourselves, karma being this inherent law towards equilibrium in the universe. So we have number 9, I'll start with, says the karma of this earth. And we can try to not put that outside of ourselves, but think of the image of the earth in our hearts. The karma of this earth is the combination of the acts and thoughts of all beings of every grade, which were concerned in the preceding manvantara, or evolutionary stream, from which ours flows. This corresponds to the teaching that in this never-ending cycles of growth, periodicity, and breathing out, breathing, we came from another planetary stream of development. Said the Earth corresponds to the moon being our last planet, where our evolutionary stream developed, and then having gained all of the experience that space and time allowed us, we then breathe in, and then we manifest again a new form, a new body, a new planetary home that's said to be this earth now. So it's a lot that we carry with us. And does that mean that we're fate-oriented beings? It's all happened and we're feeling the effects of it all, and we're stuck with whatever happened that we don't know from before? It says that number 10, and those beings include lords of power and holy men, as well as weak and wicked ones. The period of the earth's duration is greater than that of any entity or race upon it. So you start to get a big perspective of the karma, individual, collective, and universal. Number 11 says, because the karma of this earth and its races began in a past too far back for human minds to reach, an inquiry into its beginning is useless and profitless. So the last two I want to point to are 30 and 31. It says, karma operates to produce cataclysms of nature by concatenation. Interesting word. Concatenation through the mental and astral planes of being. A cataclysm may be traced to an immediate physical cause, such as internal fire and atmospheric disturbance, but these have been brought on by the disturbance created through the dynamic power of human thought. 31 says, egos, those are us, who have no karmic connection with a portion of the globe where a cataclysm is coming on, are kept without the latter's operation in two ways. A, by repulsion acting on their inner nature, and B, by being called and warned by those who watch the progress of the world. So it's something that we meditate on, practicing meditation and gaining a depth of experience with that opens up a lot of the doorways to understanding that's deeper and different than the thinking, thought pattern, comprehension that we begin with on these subjects. The other thing is we need through that to open up communication with the earth and ourselves on these deeper levels. So we need a language, since nature doesn't speak English or French or German or Japanese. What's the language of the earth? What's the language of nature? One of my favorite keys are this Masaru Emoto years ago. He started working with water, and I don't know if you can see the image of the frozen water molecule. And through these studies, he realized that they were influenced by thought, and they would form these beautiful crystals depending on the thought pattern, or they would have like a murky, loose, non-form, dark image if it was a negative thought pattern. And he's a scientist, he couldn't believe it, so he had to do this many times over and over again to prove it. And there are messages from water. Tell us about that. Now, it's being, 98% water. So you got to figure that every thought we have has an image that we generate throughout our system. And either it's a beautiful crystal, a diamond, a love, a hope, or it's a murky, non helpful image that isn't going to benefit ourselves or anyone. The other thing is sound and color of nature. So these vibratory resonances we can connect with inside ourselves and in nature, and deep listening really give us a communication that, you know, people like Thoreau spoke of, Emerson, and the poets, Blake, one of my favorite. So that's a touchstone on the earth and Kumaras and great souls and our relationship to it all, I hope.
Philip, thank you so much for that presentation.